So
True.
When I talk about lying, I mean they lie on so many different levels. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to a point that me and Roger was
slow down.
in relation to artificial intelligence, people relying on what people term as artificial intelligence when they lack actual intelligence. The issue is that people don't have critical thinking skills these days.
No, they don't.
It's been critical thinking that's been run out of them.
There's people who believe too much.
Well, they believe everything they see too.
Too many people believe just they hear the first thing and they automatically believe it.
Well, it happened today. There was a big thing with Trump. You know, the tariffs. There's supposed to be all these protests, and there was this big, huge crowd supposedly. And as we were watching it, they said, "Oh, we have to say this. This picture is not of the actual event. This is a non-related event." So there's all these people, and I'm like, well, how many people really is it? This thing?
Another thing too, a lot of people don't think about these protests against Trump and all this stuff. The left is trying in this country. They're trying to act like these protests are grassroots. They're not. They're really funded by people like George Soros and stuff like that. And that's another thing the media doesn't tell you. So they kind of lie by omission.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I was talking about AI. Just putting it out there.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, like now we're getting into some serious stuff here. You know, we're talking about the media lying to us. Oh my God.
God, that's a show. 2 or 3 shows.
Yeah.
That's a series of mystery shows in and of itself.
I was like, shit, dude. Now
I think the secret there. I think the secret is to question everything. Be skeptical about everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Question everything. Even question your pet.
Absolutely.
I agree with you on that. I think that's something we all agree on. And I was like, oh hell, don't get me started on the media. And I don't trust none of them at all. I mean,
no, I don't either.
Like what's his name? He was the dude that used to be on Fox News. He was real popular. Not Kramer. Rauner or he was the heavier set guy with the big mouth. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
He was actually the spotlight. He's the guy that had the straight cut hair and always had the part down the side, black hair.
Again, at the US as well.
The guy that had the straight black hair.
Had his hair nice and combed and parted to the left or something like that. He was one of the most popular on the Fox News, and he was always talking about them doing an investigation.
Carlson?
Yeah, Carlson. What was it?
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin.
Well, let me point something out about him that I don't like. Like he said for almost 2.5 years that they were doing an investigation of Hillary Clinton, and that they had all these files and they were going to have her in prison. They're going to lock her up. And he kept saying it and feeding off of that so that he could get people to watch his show. And you know what happened? Nothing. You know? and he just kept pushing that lie.
That's related to the personal email server and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, she did.
Email
server.
They're all Teflon. It doesn't matter what party, you know. And then you got Fox, and then you got MSNBC, and they're all. I think both of them are losing a lot of people because nobody wants to hear just one side.
And nobody knows what to believe anymore.
No, they're lying.
We're not getting the truth.
They're lying. Yeah.
They
were lying, and they let that go for several hours because my boyfriend was watching it on and off. And they never said anything about that not being the correct crowd until much later in the afternoon. So how many people really thought that was? Because he thought it was.
Yeah.
He was like, look at the crowd. And I was like, I don't know. Where are they? It was a weird looking crowd too. It didn't look like a protest. That's what I told him. I said,
There's no joke in the UK. The BBC and the Met Office providing weather reports, and goes back to something like 1987 with the tornadoes that we had, which the Met Office said wasn't going to happen. But yeah, if you want to, if the Met Office says it's going to rain, look outside the window. Have a look out the window. If it is raining, then they're correct. If it isn't, then they are not correct.
Okay,
Never believe.
Question
that's
everything.
true. You have to. It'll get worse now with AI stuff. You know, it's going to get worse. I don't know how we're going to decipher it, but
We won't know. Nobody will know for sure what's reality and what isn't, and what's really going on and what isn't.
right.
Nothing makes any. A lot of shit just don't make any damn sense these days.
you guys are talking about meteorology. So let me tell you something that doesn't make sense.
What's that?
Found out that there has been no tornadoes whatsoever that happens in Germany, okay? And even though they have never freaking had any need for warning systems for tornado warnings, meteorologists still push for them to have a emergency notice whenever tornado warnings came into Germany.
Actually, not tornadoes, hurricanes. Europe doesn't really get tornadoes as such, but hurricanes, yeah.
You know, but they
You guys get hurricanes in the Mediterranean region, right, Mark? Like the southern Europe more than anything, and maybe northern Africa, but not really tornadoes or anything.
That's what gets me though, is why are they trying to push useless freaking stuff like that in a region that doesn't experience it? You know what I mean? It's like, that's just because it's here in the United States doesn't mean you need it there in Germany.
Because somebody's making money.
It's about money.
If you follow the money, and that's that, you'd have to do the research and really dig in and follow the money. That has to be what it comes back to. I would think.
Well, I gotta be careful because Mark gets upset when I start talking bad about legislation in Europe and England.
Well,
it depends on the subject. Depends on how accurate you are.
Well, legislation. He loves bureaucracy. Like, he loves it.
There's bureaucracy everywhere. It's not just Europe. It's America too. We got a lot of red tape and bureaucracy and infringements on the Constitution.
Yeah.
Now that's something I'll cover. You know, I'll cover all that stuff in depth on my upcoming series, Reluctantly Political.
Yeah.
With Roger Hanson and Mark Edworthy.
There we go.
Yeah, I guess wrap it up because our
she's getting tired, is what it is.
She's getting drunk. Is what she's going.
No,
yeah, I figured she was drunk like a half an hour ago. To be honest, she
is drunk.
Started acting all funny and shit.
No, it's been a long while. So yeah.
See right there, dude. Right there. Did you see that? She goes, what is that? Well, yeah, see, well, anyhow.
They're wondering, they want us to wrap it up. But yeah.
It's been a good show.
Okay, well, we'll just sign off, and if you guys want to still talk, you can. But
well, I mean, it's your show, dude. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to do all the.
I was gonna say, we'll just have to figure out when Mark's available to do the Reluctantly Political show and whatnot, and then we'll kind of go from there with that.
Okay.
He's gonna love you, dude. Okay, like this is the kind of politics he loves. So, like, I'm the one who wants to do the actual historical politics and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's what we'll do. Well,
We've done that in the past.
But I'm saying
Yeah,
Mark is like a freaking I like to call it garbage politics, but he's a junkie of that shit. He eats it up like it's freaking going out of style, dude.
Here, put my wine bottle open.
You know you're addicted. Depends, yeah.
Depends.
First episode, I want to talk about how the idea for reluctantly political came about and why I call it reluctantly political.
Okay.
And then we'll all three talk kind of what we want to talk about throughout the whole series. That'll be the first episode, just kind of laying the foundation for the show.
Cool.
Does that sound good to you guys?
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, when will you be available to do that, Mark? I know Roger's always available. He's around.
Generally speaking, fairly free most evenings. Again, when are you thinking? Within next month or something?
Okay, so maybe during the weekday. Well, the problem with us is the differences in time zones.
Just add 4 hours to your time.
Again, I do quite a bit of stuff in the evenings. As Roger knows, people like Naoki and Vixen's Vote and stuff, Jaffe's.
Whenever you want to do it.
No, I am in my time.
Okay, we'll just agree.
Preferably earlier, so something like 10, 11 p.m. UTC.
Yeah, that would be 6 o'clock for you.
For me.
Yeah.
That's not terrible. Yeah, I'll try to do at least maybe an episode a month or so of that.
Okay.
But we'll lay the foundation in the first episode. And here in the next week or two, we'll agree on a date for our first episode, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Now, are you on Discord still, Mark?
Yeah.
I am, but I very rarely use Discord, to be fair.
Don't worry about it.
But
I'm the inside guy.
I get email notifications anyway for Discord.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready to talk to him, I'll let him know if he's not on here.
Yeah, I'll hit you up first, Roger, and I'll let you know that. Or I can send a message to you and Mark Edworthy simultaneously in just a single message. It both works.
It works for me.
And then, of course, I'm always dropping. Did you see my new music videos? I'm gonna be dropping those one every week. I'm gonna be dropping videos now.
Okay. And that episode that I've been starting, it's called Untethered. And that's gonna be about everything, including freaking like current events and entertainment. So freaking we can probably set something up to where you can come on.
Again, I apologize for missing last night's, but I was just so knackered.